Hey, it's Tony Verhoeven, and I'm here with Derek Rector. We have been talking about what makes communities, specifically online communities in the association nonprofit world, successful. In a previous video, we talked a little bit about the gravity principle, which is basically the idea that you need a center of gravity, you need something with purpose that pulls people in to an online community. If you haven't seen that, go back and we'll provide a link here as well, but go back and watch that. What we want to talk about today, Derek, is we want to talk about what associations might get wrong. What do communities get wrong when it comes to gravity, when it comes to this principle?
Yeah. So I think that the most obvious thing that I see when I look at a lot of association communities is an over reliance on gamification. There's no doubt that it has its place, right? Badging, acknowledging, top
Points.
posters, points, this kind of thing. It has
Yeah.
its place. Not saying it doesn't, but um, often what we see is that becomes a substitute for real purpose in the community, right? And the gravity that shapes that purpose. So when the community is a part of, a resource collection or a knowledge base or an online course or a buyer's guide, when it's a part of that, it not only draws people in, but it shapes the purpose of the interaction that people are going to have. And they're more
Right.
inclined to interact, right? So gamification is it's a sort of hack. It's a substitute for real meaningful engagement. And we learned gamification by watching popular social channels essentially pull people in and get them to look at more and more content, because essentially you are the product, right? In that context, you the person using that social network, you are the product. And so they're not interested in whether or not you get real value from it. They just want you to look at more and more and more doom scroll.
Right.
And so that's kind of, I think the other thing that they're getting wrong is that people are becoming leery. People are becoming weary, right? Of that gamification in a personal context, in a social context. It's not the endpoint in the evolution of social media, of online communities. There's something better that will come. Yet as associations, we're applying these same strategies and tactics on our members instead of actually delivering the real value that they need to come to engage, to participate.
Right.
So I
It's
think
not the
that's the
why.
biggest thing. No,
Right?
no.
It's not the why. I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek. Start with why. Badges and points and artificial, promotion is not the why they come back, where they come or why they come back.
Right. And the truth is, they don't even work that well in a professional context, right? Something we've talked about before, Tony, is the idea that, in my personal time, my time is disposable, right? I can spend it watching an episode of a TV program. I can spend it, grilling in the backyard. I can spend it doom scrolling on Instagram. That's personal time. When I'm at work, I'm on the clock. I'm being
Mhm.
paid for my time. That time is essentially bought for by my employer. And most people have 10 things to do and room to get 5 of them done. And so the gamification that you see in your personal life, in personal social, I don't necessarily resent it. I kind of feel guilty if I spend 2 hours doom scrolling, but I don't resent it. But in a professional context, the kinds of things that are being used to sort of gamify the community rather than really delivering great value, I start to resent it because I have too much to do, too little time to do it. I came in because I need to solve something and I need to get back to work. I do not want to spend a lot of time in there. I want to get out of there as quickly as possible. Right.
So what a lot of association leaders are going to look at is, well, how do I know when my community is being successful, right? Are a lot of people getting points? Are a lot of people getting badges? What are some of the ways that we can tell whether an association's community is successful?
Yeah,
Thinking
I
about
think it's
KPIs and dashboards
yeah,
and
yeah,
things like that,
KPIs.
right?
I think there's way too much emphasis on, you know, the sort of traditional performance metrics and not enough emphasis on the association's overall performance metrics, right? And what does that mean? Is it more important that a person has spent, I don't know, 50 hours in our community and posted 70 times? Or is it more important that they attended the conference or that they renewed their membership or that they got certified? I think we do need to figure out how the community factors into those decisions, the extent to which it influences them. But I think people need to take a step back and remember that associations are the original social networks. The whole association is the community. The association without any technology at all is the community. Yet online, digitally, we put the community off to the side and treat it as something different, separate, right? And we really need to get back to the idea that, okay, whatever we do in person, we need to do online. And so the community is the whole thing, the whole experience. If you're infusing your centers of gravity or your center of gravity with community, people are getting value. And as a result, they're showing up for meetings, they're renewing,
Right.
they're referring, right? Like I'm not, you're the association executive. There are probably a lot of other specific, you probably you could elaborate on
Well,
specific
you hit on some
KPIs,
of
right?
them,
But
right? Yeah, you hit on some of them. If you're in the C-suite at an association, right, you're going to have your staff meeting, you're going to have your board meeting, and you're going to look at, okay, one of the slides on your slide deck as an executive director is going to be the KPIs, right? Financial performance, the revenue, expenses, and then you're going to maybe you do look at performance of other things, right? Usually it's going to be financial, but if you're looking at how the community is performing, you're going to want to look at how it interrelates to all of those other things, right? Is it driving your book sales? Is it driving your conference sales? Is it part of your sponsorship plan? Is it driving memberships, right? Those have to be the metrics that you really look at. Now, if you look at how a community is built or how a community operates, right? There's always going to be the VIPs. There's going to be, if you think about a pyramid, there's going to be the people at the top. Those are people are always writing and talking, right? Then there's going to be people in the middle who only comment, but really don't post a lot themselves. And then there's going to be the bottom, right? And that's the widest base. And those are the lurkers. Well, if you're
yes,
only looking at the amount of people that comment and post, you're kind of invalidating all the people that it's really there for are the lurkers and your eyeballs, right? So you do have to look at, okay, how many views are we getting, but are those views translating into other things? Are they turning into dollars, right? And so, associations
right.
are financially driven by a lot of different things. So yes, your KPIs should not just be like web stats and looking at your website that your webmaster or your IT VP is looking at. It should
Right.
be interconnected. And in a future episode, we're going to talk a little bit about how a community manager and the staff and everybody involved in driving the community, what are some of the successful activities they should be doing to help bring everything together. But that's something for the next one.
Yeah. That is. Um, yeah. Again, simple concept, right? But not so obvious. To a certain extent, the way I would wrap this up is to say that I think to a certain extent, technology has kind of driven the way that we approach community in the association space. We've sort of shaped our communities around the tools that are available. And the tools have evolved a lot in the last 20 years, right? And we're at a point now where we're moving beyond that constraint of the tools and the way that the tools, the community platforms and so on, shape a certain kind of approach to community. And we can basically step back and say the whole thing is community. The association is community. How do we infuse all of that with community? And like you say, how we measure it, changes too. So
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks, Derek. I appreciate that. I think that is a great place to stop and transition into our next talk. So we're going to see you on the next one.
see you soon.